There you are.
Hello. How's everyone?
Doing pretty good.
Doing all right.
Yay. Okay. Sorry, it took a while to get the kids all situated. Madison's not here, and so threw me all off.
Oh no.
Teresa, her daughter's Madison. I didn't even ask Madison to come today. I just have to blame it on someone. So
There you go.
Okay, so referrals. Do y'all have your 30 names?
I was not the last one, so can I have a pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you know what you're doing though with the 30 referral sources?
No, so are those people that I want to meet, or those are people that I already,
we are thinking big scale. So I saw Tiffany's number, her list. And so she has like moms, dads, grandparents on there, right? When looking at a referral source, you want to look at other businesses that can refer to you to get that constant stream of referrals. So instead of moms and dads, you would ask yourself, where do moms hang out? And who is dealing with moms on a grander scale that can send all of their, 2,000 moms to me each month?
Okay, so I have bookkeepers that I have referrals with. They refer people to me.
So what do you do?
I'm a tax preparer.
Okay.
I'm an enrolled agent. So tax and then tax resolution.
Okay. So yes, so bookkeepers, and then you can go down. If there's a certain niche that you help, say you're seeing that most of your tax prep come from construction companies, you would ask yourself, who else is talking to those construction companies that you can also talk to, and go to them and be like, hey, I help construction companies with tax prep. I would love to be your referral source.
Okay, so lawyers is a really big one for me.
Say what?
Lawyers.
Yes. So then ask yourself who are talking to lawyers. And so your list just keeps getting longer because you keep asking yourself, who's talking to my ideal client besides just me on a grander scale? Because then if you can get a referral source sending you 10 to 20 referrals a month, that's gold, as opposed to you going and finding those 10 people yourself, right?
Right.
So
with lawyers, do you actually get referrals from HR? Whether it's inside specific companies or HR firms, because I know not all HR firms do tax prep work.
Right, and that would be good because they're going to see the people that wages are garnished and stuff like that. It's, on the rep side. The rep side is people that are in trouble with the IRS, so that would be good. But lawyers, just because sometimes, especially divorce lawyers, to protect their client, I can tell them what the tax ramifications are, get this signed, do this, that sort of thing. Bankruptcy lawyers.
See, like you said, divorce lawyers, and I'm already thinking you can then go to mediators, you can go to counselors, you can go to, right? Because all of these people, are dealing with the same kind of client.
What about wealth and investment advisors?
Yes. Well, yes. And I'm already trying to build relationships with those people. I have several that I'm already doing. So I'm trying to think outside of just them. I mean, that's a pretty much easy one right there because, and I have gotten referrals from them, so a lot of my business is current clients referring and new referrals coming in from other people.
Yep. Cool.
My website doesn't do badly either.
Yeah, website is awesome. Yeah. So when you list 30, your mind will, the first 15 are what your competitor is also writing down. Like you said, the wealth advisors, that's something that every single tax prep is going to put on their top 10.
Right.
So that's why we say list 30, because when you hit 20, it gets really freaking hard to come up with that last 10. And that's when you're really thinking outside the box and being like, okay, who else can refer to me? And those are the people that no one is contacting yet for a tax prep. And so that's where your gold is going to be. So that's what the whole practice was. Like, yeah, first 20 are going to be easy. It's that last 10 that are going to really pull you to think outside the box. Okay, so John, how did you do?
So, like I had mentioned in my comment, and working in the same industry previously, as I am, I know, like, I have a list of like 40 right now, but like we said, they're mostly ideal clients.
Yep.
Now, not only are they ideal clients, some of them are good reference, referral options, but I had a hard time with this, and I'm still, continuing to struggle with it. And
Struggling with, throw it out and let us brainstorm with you. What's stopping you? What's your
so,
wall?
okay, so you're throwing out the idea of, where do these people hang out? Where are they communicating and finding information, and, where are they networking, I guess. And so, like, I'm looking at my list here, like one of them you threw out was tech companies.
Yes.
An idea I got from you. Tech companies, fantastic client potentially, but I mean, who are those people talking to? This is something I don't necessarily know for myself.
So I'll speak to that a little bit before she gets into it, but tech companies are in two modes. They're either in startup mode or they're established.
Mhm.
A startup tech company is looking for funding, looking for workers, and they're trying to network and find seed investors. So you can find tech companies by going to find where they're getting their startup funding, and that's usually with like Plex Capital, somewhere who's already getting funding as a main source of business, and then get the tech company list from them to market in like a partnership measure with that funding company. If they're already established and they're less of a startup, tech companies are networking and they're online. So you would just find Facebook groups like the KC startup, the KC techie startup groups, and just start going to their networking meetings and saying you're like the best apparel person for tech companies, and then just get 4 of them to work with you at once, right? And then do a bulk deal. Like tech companies are in the West Coast and on the East Coast, but they're in Kansas City. So if you wanted to go beyond our city and state, you'd go to the major tech hubs: Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, California-based cities. Austin is now becoming a huge tech capital. And actually, you can just go to angelinvestor.com and it just lists all the up and coming startups and tech companies. And then there's a list of about 5,000. So
Okay.
when you get past Sarah's first question of where are they hanging out, you then ask who are they hanging out with,
Right.
and then go find the people they're hanging out with to find them.
Okay.
So like tech startups need money and people and networked friends. So then go find where their friends are to find them.
And you could also go as far as finding those HR companies, finding those banks that really focus in on tech companies and making friends with those people. Because if they're already getting tech companies, because a lot of tech companies don't know how the heck to run a business. Like they're very techie, they're not very HR focused, right? So finding those HR firms that hone in on tech companies as well, go have a meeting with them. You're not selling to them. You're saying, hey, I reach out to tech companies. I would love to refer them to you when they need HR help. When they come to you, will you refer them to me when they need swag? And so now it's like a working partnership because you both are benefiting, but you're not
Sure.
selling to each other. It's just like this mutual, let's help each other. So
Right.
yeah.
What are some other ones you're looking for, John?
Let's see. Man, I got a list. So like one of the ideas that I put down was a marketing firm, and I would imagine, like Sariah was saying, that probably goes in everybody's top 10,
and
even
a
top
lot of people
5.
So offering swag at this point. That's what I noticed when I
They're
started.
what?
They're offering swag now because it's so easy
The
for them
marketing firms are?
I just got off calls with 2 marketing firms yesterday and they said, oh, we also offer promotional products. And I was like, no, I'm good. Because it's so easy, right?
Right.
If you're already doing the online marketing, why not offer the tangible marketing?
It's an easy add-on.
Yep.
What other niches do you want to do work with?
So banking uses a lot of swag.
Yep.
Mostly like personal and, lower level type stuff, retail banking, I guess. But I would imagine, commercial stuff is using a lot of it too.
So what's another one?
Campaigns, political campaigns. While they're extremely seasonal, for a lack of a better term,
Nice.
they spend a ton of money all in about a 2-month period, but it's a lot, as we all well know. Let's see.
Have you looked at medical?
So, that's something that I haven't done anything with, but, being a paramedic, also, for those of you who don't know, I'm a firefighter paramedic as well.
You have an in that I never did.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that I've thought about. Is like, I know a lot of people that are at least middle management in hospitals that I haven't really done anything with. And they use a ton. Yeah.
They are like, if you can have 3 medical, you would be set. Like you wouldn't even need
any
clients. Same with tech and medical are where the huge money is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, if I could land just someone like HCA in Kansas City, would be phenomenal. Amazing.
And so what I was told is that they usually go nationwide, of like the really huge ones. So they said go to the regional hospitals because they really don't have any ties, and it's a lot easier to get conversations with them. So
I see.
Like, don't go straight to their marketing, go to HR or go to like the smaller people and start building those relationships and seeing how you can refer to each other and then ask for the intro.
So I worked with St. Luke's in Kansas City, and the St. Luke's decisions come out of Kansas City that filter into St. Luke's and Lee Summit. But like target like 30 days prior to Nurses Week, specific times when they're going to have a need. Kansas, and especially this year, Nurses Week is going to be huge because they're going to want to give back in a big way. So when it's front of mind, because if you're coming at them too soon or when they don't have a need, they don't have the time for you in medical right now because it's such a chaotic situation. Yeah. And annual budgets come before their annual budget so they can budget for you. So you want to be with them now.
Do you know what calendar they use for budgeting?
Their fiscal year. So we got money for the art festival in downtown Lee Summit. And we would go see them usually October before the holiday season to make their fiscal budget, which was January through December.
Everybody's making budgets August through November.
Everybody's what?
Most industries are making their budgets anywhere from September, August, October, and November. People are making their budgets for next year.
In marketing in Lee Summit, they used to have their own person that was in charge of it, but they had a changeover in management and it filtered back to the Kansas City location. So all of those decisions are being made in Kansas City. You can set up the initial contact locally and reach out to the marketing team in Lee Summit because I think it's easier to reach out to them. But they will then we did a presentation, so I did an entire video slideshow about why it's important for to support the arts, the medical field to support the arts, and just a whole presentation. And then they presented that up the chain.
See.
So Teresa, what's on your list for who you're targeting for referrals?
So I wasn't on the last meeting, so I actually just wrote mine up really quickly right here as soon as I got on the call.
Nice.
And I have 29.
Give us a few of your top ones.
Okay, so I'm kind of iffy on what we were specifically looking for. So those I've used in the past, and then new ones that I just kind of thought of right now. And so obviously school teachers, kids are out of school right now, and they're connecting with their students that they know are looking for something during COVID, to be outside of the home in a smaller, safer environment. Art teachers specifically, because they're not able to have the scope and scale of experience for kids right now because they're doing it virtually and with limited resources. Not all the kids have the same supplies at home. So those kids that want more advanced art experiences, they would be great referrals to get them into something because they're not meeting those needs necessarily. I Also put child therapist, because right now I know mental health is a huge issue for a lot of kids, and art has a therapeutic component to it and can be a great outlet for students that are looking for something, whether that be virtual or outside of the home.
Nice.
Girl Scouts of Kansas City, I've been meaning to get back in touch with them again, but they do referrals to the individual troops, and I'm not sure what it's called right above the troops, but like the service units. So then specifically, I drilled down and said Girl Scout service units. Also,
What about 4-H?
I don't have that on my list. That could be my number 30. I don't have Boy Scouts either, and I don't know why I don't do that. And then there's also the Heritage Girls, which is like a Christian version of Girl Scouts.
Yep.
And then I put a new one that I added talking to you, and I thought this might be good for John too. Real estate agents, because they always, like when you purchase a home, and the housing market right now is one of the industries that's really booming. Giving an experience for those kids that have families would be cool. So like if you're new to the community and you're looking for things to do for your kids, but also real estate agents have swag.
I would do HOAs.
HOAs, that's good too. Okay.
HOAs work with like specific real estate agents, whether they want them in their neighborhood or not. And then
Okay.
HOAs work with like the publishing companies that do specific neighborhood magazines and specific neighborhood events. So your HOA would have a contact in like 3 or 4 different prongs for you.
And I actually have those contacts for the HOA for Lakewood and Winterset. I've partnered with them before and hosted free events for kids in the community. My problem now is I was in business in Lee Summit. Now we're in Blue Springs. So they don't really have those size communities in Blue Springs that we have in Lee Summit. I live in Lakewood, so I probably could reach out to our HOA easily. But yeah, so that's a really good one. And I just don't know, there aren't any, like really the country club in Blue Springs is probably the only larger scale. So that might be a good one too. I also put,
What do you do?
I own an art supply studio or an art studio where we teach art classes and camps and workshops for kids. But one of the things that I haven't really spent a lot of time pushing since I rebranded and reopened under this new business is the team builders that we do. So in the past, I've worked with like the Lee Summit Chamber to host like sample events of what those look like. And last year we had all of the medical residents from Truman Medical Center come out and do like a collaborative team building event where each person had a canvas that they painted, and they had like a color guide. And at the end of it, all of the canvases went together to make one large mural that they have hanging in the hospital. So that's one thing that I really want to get back into more. And I know as businesses kind of start to return out of this COVID world we're in, they're going to need some things to kind of retrain us how to work in the same space together. And I think that would be something that would be a good.
I was thinking HR managers.
Yeah.
Just even doing a Zoom for the stress level of help your people connect, you know, like have them get all the supplies, and you can even do a Zoom, you know, teach the entire company or whatever, the group, don't do the whole company, but you know what I mean, the different departments on Zoom.
Yeah.
Because
There is
how
St.
many
Mary's
kids-
Hospital in Blue Springs. That may be a place to start. They are small, so that would be a good. Are they privately owned? I don't remember if they're the independent. Anyway, that would be a place to start. I also know, I believe I met the owner or the co-owner of the golf club the other day, so I can give you her name.
Adams Point.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the things that we did in the past, which was really cool, is Cerner. Cerner once a year pre-COVID will bring in departments that work globally together to have like a week or a few days together in the same building. And so then they're here and they're looking for fun things to do. So like on the final day, they usually will go out to lunch or they'll have an outing. And so they've done things like Top Golf, but one time they came in and did an art class with us, and it's bringing in this like really diverse group of people to come in and do an event together. So I've picked up I've done a lot of this little stuff throughout, but it's just been by chance that people called us and asked for it. It's not really been something I promoted. And I know that there's definitely a gap in the market. And I'd like to tap into that, but really haven't. It's basically all kind of fallen in my lap because of the other things that we do by word of mouth.
Another one is MOPS and churches.
I have MOPS groups. I have PTA groups. I have moms groups on Facebook. I have church groups like Bible study groups because we've done a lot of those. I even have the animal rescues because we do the paint fundraisers.
Yep.
I have daycares. I have other artists because a lot of other artists, like you could be an artist and not be a good art teacher. And so people will ask, like, if they're doing events, like, will you teach my little Susie, who's a prodigy, how to paint? But yet they may not, they may not want to teach. So if I could have referrals from other teachers.
What about nursing homes?
Nursing homes has been one of my big pre-COVID. So I've done, and that's another one for swag for like the assisted living type groups. But they host events to try to recruit people to come stay with them or to come there eventually. So they would host me to come in. There's one in Raymore, a big, I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, but they have their chef cook a meal. I come in and do a 2-hour paint class, and then they send you away with a box lunch so that they could sample the food that they would be eating if they came to that facility later. So they do a lot of those recruitment type events. And then I've taught the facility that's next to Lee Summit Hospital. There's one here in Lee Summit. The new one that's next to Children's Mercy here in Independence. I've done events there. So those are all.
Teresa, how long have you been in business?
Under my current business since 2018, but I've been
That's amazing.
teaching for 20 years and I've been doing what I do now for 10 years.
You just need to have a text database of all these people. You would very quickly generate a lot of business just texting people out what packages you actually offer with discounts.
Is there a good service for that that's not an arm and a leg?
We're gonna go over that in a little bit. Let's move on a little bit just to hear some other people's as well.
Okay.
On my screen, I think Angela is the next block with a human in it. Angela, do you want to just rattle off? And for those of you who are just stepping in, we're just rattling off the answer to the question, who is talking to my ideal client? So who is the list of partnerships or referrals that you can start reaching out to without having to spend marketing dollars to get to your ideal client?
All right, so I have insurance brokers. Like they need business insurance, but they are in there. Maybe they're needing another truck or vehicle to haul their stuff. They need insurance for I don't know. I need to expand on that, but like a broker that may help with that. Rental property.
Angela, remind me what you do again.
Oh, okay. So I'm a bookkeeper. Virtual bookkeeper working from my home, work with small service-based businesses. So plumbers, electricians, salons, that kind of stuff, kind of going into website design, like IT stuff. Those are service-based businesses that I like to reach out to. So I was thinking podcast, communications, payroll businesses, lawyers, maybe business related, even those who need to get their estates taken care of. They probably need some bookkeepers to make sure that they're legal, the money that's being discussed is accurate, up to date, and everything, where T's are crossed and stuff like that. I have even some business coaches, trying to help the businesses grow. They're going to need to, that'll be a good referral, I would think. I think they would be my companies, my people that I'm reaching out to, I'm thinking will be going to these places. So,
do you do work with virtual assistants who don't offer bookkeeping?
So yeah, I put that one on my list. There are some that don't offer bookkeeping, so I put that one down.
OBMs are always having to pass bookkeeping off.
Okay.
OBMs?
I put that one on my list too.
And marketing firms, that's where John is going to ignore them, and you are going to step into that space of marketing firms don't offer bookkeeping. Usually when people go into marketing firms, they have about $500 to $1,000 a month spending for marketing. Therefore, they do have the funds to spend on bookkeeping and usually need it.
Okay.
Lawyers who work with new businesses, who start up new businesses, start having a conversation with them. because then they can start referring all the new business owners to you and say, hey, when you're ready for bookkeeping, Angela's a great price. She does X, Y, and Z. Go over there. So
It's more business lawyers, right? Because I did business, and then I was doing, well, is there like wills and estates and like that kind
and
of?
estate and wills, I mean, yes, but I wouldn't think that they would be like talking to business owners all the time.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I think you have to ask yourself, what type of client do you want though too? Because like if you're into the estate and will building and contract and business lawyers, you're dealing with a lot of like mergers and people who are dying or possessions who are passing hands. Whereas I kind of assume the way you're talking on the other side with insurance brokers, rental properties, I would assume you want people who are not ready to die or merge as much as just people who want to use you and pay you every month for as long as you can.
Okay. Yes.
And commercial real estate
Mm-hmm.
agents are huge because they're talking to business owners all the time, selling them properties.
Real estate investors in and of themselves,
Mhm.
no clue how to balance books.
Yep.
Freelance designers that do logo design, because that's going to be your new business person that's starting up and looking for services to meet their business needs.
Logo
Yeah,
designers, you said?
Graphic
like-
and brand designers, that's a great
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
And with the coaches, I want to even get in with a coach because you're going to have and I've done this because I've worked with 3 coaches at this point. They can't refer to me because they have such a massive pool of people that they're coaching. There's no way that they can type out the 50 bookkeepers that have helped them. So your key in that is just being in their groups and adding value as much as you can and just being a name. Like yesterday I was on 2 calls. They took the calls with me because they said, we see you everywhere on Facebook. We had to talk to you. So that's kind of where you want to go in the coaching, be in their group, monetize their group. But I wouldn't expect for any of the coaches to refer to you alone because they just can't.
I would only caveat a difference on that, since I ran a bunch of Facebook groups and business coaching. If they're doing group coaching, not the individual business coaching that I assume that you're talking about there, but if they're doing group coaching, if one of the modules is business finance and bookkeeping, pay them to let you run that module for them the way they want it. And then now you're in their coaching process as a step, and you're literally speaking to every round of grouped coaching. We used to run a business accelerator that was completely virtual for marketers. And I pulled in a bookkeeper and a virtual assistant and a Google SEO guy, and they just taught the modules I wanted them to teach with the points I wanted to make so I could teach more of the higher level stuff. But if you find one that's group coaching, you might be able to start just teaching it, you know?
That's a good, so I was the marketing director for a local arts nonprofit, and we would bring in guest speakers for those arts groups.
Yep.
And basically the business of being an artist, because once you hit a certain, like you're no longer just a hobby artist and really taking it to the business side.
Mhm.
And right now, like there has been a huge influx in like the homemakers, Etsy type shops.
Yep.
And people not understanding at what point, because somebody said, oh, they don't have a business, it's just an Etsy shop. Well, people are making 6 digits, 7 digits in Etsy shops these days. So understanding how to align that with real business practices.
And that is
Yeah,
I
that's
do
smart.
have people coaches who have people come in, and if you do it really well, have like a cute little handout that walks them through it. Coaches love that because really what you do is say, hey, I would like to offer a bonus module for your next course. And then that's their bonus. And every single coach is looking for bonuses to offer.
Mhm.
Every single one. So be their bonus module.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to do anything but put your video up, right?
And share the email addresses with you when the people download them. That's what I would do, a split. So if you give them their free giveaway, then they give you the email addresses that they gain from it.
And you promote in your emails too, right? And say, since you're doing this now, I can promote what you're offering to my email list.
Is Amy Crow still on the call here?
I don't see her.
I think we lost her and we lost Tiffany as
Tiffany.
well. Tanya,
Yes.
what's on your list?
I'm a bookkeeper also, so I do small businesses. I have chief financial officers, tax professionals. I've targeted the MLM industry and direct sales industry.
Nice.
Love that. And
I'm
there are
sorry.
a few MLM massive coaches. I feel like that's a very untapped market because a lot of people are afraid to coach the MLM. So I would focus on MLM coaches and direct sale coaches who teach how to start an MLM and talk to them about doing a course or something, or like a module, a bonus training, whatever, because
Yeah.
that would be gold to focus on that.
Okay.
Any others on your list, Tanya?
Tradesmen, startup businesses. I have a couple of construction companies currently.
How do you get construction companies to do bookkeeping with you?
I just tell them what I offer, and just tell them what I can offer. Work with them one-on-one to do like class tracking, all that kind of stuff.
So part of what Sarah, I always forget how to say your name properly. Is it Sariah?
Sariah. Sarah's good.
Sariah. I'll get it right eventually. Part of what Sariah wanted us to answer was who is talking to my ideal client. Are you saying that construction companies are an ideal client for you?
Yes.
How do you get other people to bring them to you?
I've just gotten them from marketing, not actually through anybody.
So you're going direct.
Yeah.
So if you had to think of who they're talking to, who would that be though?
Home builders, probably.
Done. Yep. So then that's your in, right? Home builders, and not just the home builders, the secretaries that sit in the home builder office, right? Because they're the ones answering the phones, getting the mail, bored as heck. And if this, sweet bookkeeper comes in with cookies and says, "Hey, I just really want to, help the construction companies that you guys work with and really want to deliver," oh my gosh, you would be top of mind.
Yeah. Okay.
And I say that because I've done home builders, and it's kind of a gruesome job when you're the secretary because it's not very pretty. So they love attention. They love attention. That's your in. I would just start sending cookies to them.
Okay.
I'm on a Zoom. Leave me alone.
Everybody loves cookies.
That's what I'm saying. Cookies, coffee, whatever.
Yeah.
Sugar. And I would also say, Tanya, then is I would start connecting with people who are selling swag to construction companies, because I'm already thinking of two that focus on construction companies only. They would be a really great cup of tea to have with them, of saying, hey, we could, when I meet the construction company, I tell them to grab swag from you. And when you meet the construction company, you tell them to grab bookkeeping from me.
Yeah.
Right. It's a really good, because they need a lot of apparel and swag and everything else. So that would be a really good referral partner for you.
Okay.
Another great referral partner is point of sale, people who install point of sales, and to connect to the bookkeeper, because you want that to be as seamless as possible, and to understand like your preference. Like most, I guess QuickBooks is probably the common. My mom's an accountant. But like we had a point of sale installer, and just having that installer say, when you're looking for your bookkeeping needs or whatever.
Okay.
So to round off, sorry, go ahead. You were going to talk about the Square one. Yeah, Square is a great company. Following the people who follow the Square point of sales Facebook page would in and of itself be a great referral source. So we have our third bookkeeper here on the call now too, right? Laura Salt. Talk to us a little bit about your referral sources.
Yeah. So sorry I jumped in late. I just had a coffee chat prior. So before I just vomit all over you guys, what all are we sharing?
who the rattle off list, or if you've got it prepared, of who is talking to your ideal client. So that's why I kind of was pushing on Tanya a little bit. She said construction companies, but that's her ideal client. Whereas John needs tech companies as his ideal client, but how does he get them? So we talked about, for tech companies, you'd go to the startup financing companies, or you'd go to the recruitment agencies that work for tech companies. And for construction companies, Sarah, oh my God, my dyslexia. Sriracha. I'm just going to call her Sriracha because I know how to say Sriracha.
Sriracha's good.
Okay. Sriracha was saying for the construction companies, get in with the home builder admin assistant. So the admin assistant will never pay you, but she'll put you in touch with the person that is your ideal client. So that's the list we're rattling off.
Sure.
Sariah. That is such a hard word for my dyslexia. I am dyslexic. I'm not making fun of dyslexic people. I am dyslexic. So
well, think Mariah and then change the M into an S.
No, it's working with Sriracha. Sriracha's working.
Sriracha's good. Okay, Laura, who are you?
Awesome. Okay, so who I serve, and then I have my list. I pulled it up on my phone here. Sorry for the kid noise. That's how I roll.
It's life.
Yeah, it is life. So I kind of have like my broad category. I serve creatives, and I kind of have some subcategories under that. Also construction, e-commerce clients, Shopify, sellers, Etsy sellers, etc. And then, just creatives. So people who, one of my clients, for example, does like online art classes, and I just love her. She's phenomenal, and her business is growing, especially with COVID and everything. So, do you want me to go through like my whole list of like my referral sources?
Give us your top 5 to 8
top 5
referral sources.
So I have found a lot of luck talking to local bankers, talking to financial advisors. They work with a lot of business owners who need help. I have on my list here, general contractors. Sorry, they're screaming. Hold on, I'm gonna mute for just a.
She's screaming at them. Hey, and I
had to do that in my office. My coworker came in here and was like, "Are you on a Zoom call?"
Yes.
The headphones.
Yeah.
I feel it.
So yeah, some general contractors, because a lot of them will sub in the different trades, and I work with a lot of the trades who need help. They need help. I promise. They need help. IT guys, and then honestly, like other like CPAs. A lot of CPA offices, not every person who comes into their office who needs bookkeeping is actually an ideal fit for their firm for whatever reason. They're a really great referral source. So I'm establishing relationships too. I'm going to mute again.
Sometimes we don't want to do bookkeeping.
Right.
I talked to Tanya. I talked to Chelsea. I don't want to do it.
Right. We need to talk too. I still haven't talked with you.
I know we do.
It's true.
I wrote down you and I wrote down Angela because I haven't talked to either one of you yet.
I would also go to the next level. Like I was just thinking as an OBM, I'm actually going to go and reach out to the OBMs that are doing better than me, that have a wait list, because you better believe that people are going to them asking for help and they need people to refer to. So go to those bookkeepers that are overworked and already full. Go to the CPAs who are already full. Don't be afraid to reach out to a bookkeeper doing better than you, because heck, they're the ones who are going to have referrals to pass down.
Yep.
Sariah, what's an OBM?
An online business manager.
Okay, thanks.
I was thinking, Laura, for you, tech VAs. Because since you're doing e-commerce and since you're going into tech guys, IT guys,
that's a good.
Tech VAs, they're almost an OBM.
I've never even heard of them.
Techie, but usually they will hear their clients complaining about finances and integration before anyone else.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces to those clients. A lot.
Yep. Okay, so Kyle, do you want to jump into LinkedIn?
Yes, I would, Sariah.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm sitting over here just writing your name and sounding it out. I am so sorry. I do not like to make fun of people's names. I have an issue.
I am used to it. I don't even care.
All right. Well, let's get over here. So not the reason, in your chat, I put a Google Doc that I believe is set to open privileges. I wrote out all of the ones you guys were going at. So you have a list of everyone's referral source on this chat, just so you can also look at everybody's.
It is not open privileges. Do you want to share that again?
Okay, 1 second. Yes. Change. Oh, it didn't change. Okay. Yes, I want anyone with a link to be able to do all the things. There we go. All right, ignore the first link, and Sariah, if you would check that. It looks like it's almost the same link.
Good. Nope, we're good.
Okay, so second link has the privileges. I see all of your Google animals in there now. Wonderful. All right, so that is everybody's referral. So the biggest thing too, when talking about referrals that I'll just add is I sometimes get a brain freeze when trying to find my own referral sources. So what I do is I look at everyone else's and just comment and refer everyone else to everything else that they need. And the law of reciprocity ends up that those people then remember what I actually do because I've referred them. And eventually I'm getting referred for what I want as well. And I find things that I wouldn't normally find as well. So to jump into the LinkedIn side here, I'm going to do, read the book, Go River. It's wonderful. I'm going to try to do some screen sharing here. All right, is that LinkedIn screen popping up for you guys? Great.
You're good.
All right, so the first thing I want to go through, obviously, what is LinkedIn? I'm going to do this as if you guys don't know some of the basics of LinkedIn, just so I go over it for anyone who doesn't know. Just obviously, LinkedIn is a social media platform where it is similar to Facebook in that you have your own news feed of other people's posts and your own organic content. Where it is different is it has a heavy emphasis on articles that are like blogs that you can post that can get tagged in your industry. It's a very useful tool for gaining traction as an expert in your industry to write LinkedIn posts that are not just like news feed memes, but actual long form posts or videos. It definitely allows you to have a profile with your work accomplishments or business advertising. There is a difference between a personal profile and a company profile. And then what we're going to go into today is how to search for prospects, clients, or referrals with the advanced search function. There is advertising on the site similar to Facebook, but I don't recommend it unless you are a very B2B company. What we're going to go over today is the basics in the search within LinkedIn and what to do with that data. And already some of you were asking about bulk texting and emailing. So I'll go into a little bit of that as well. So with your profile, a lot of the tools I'm going to show you don't work well unless your profile is set up properly, and it won't grab people's profiles that don't have an image, don't have a background, don't have a title. So making sure your own profile is filled out is important for other people searching and finding you after you've done some of this prospecting and whatnot. And so part of the draw to LinkedIn and why they've never lost to the Facebook world is you've got this wonderful search feature that's a little bit more advanced than most. And let's see here. Where is our list that we just went off of? So I want to do one. Oh, this is the silly. Here we go. So let's see here. Let's find some tech companies for John real quick. In the search, we're just going to write the word tech initially, and it does a search for us. All right. It shows me 10 million results. Sariah, is this still showing on the screen here? I can't see you guys, so just give me an audible. Okay, then the next thing you would do is use the connections filter. If a first connection is somebody that you are like friends with on LinkedIn. So normally I do second connections only. It narrows the web down here to about 286,000. And like if John wanted to focus heavily on the Kansas City tech scene, he can throw Kansas City metropolitan area under locations. Now we have 612 people who have the word tech as a second connection of mine in the Kansas City metropolitan area. So there's 3 quick tools I'm going to show you to work with this. Let's say you clicked on one of these wonderful faked out profiles here. There's one tool called Contact Out. It's literally showing you his work email, his phone number, and his Twitter handle just because I'm on his LinkedIn profile. And you can literally save this and get his work email, his personal email, a phone number that goes directly to him, and a Twitter account. That's pretty fun to have that information. So if you were targeting individuals on a much smaller list, this first tool called Contact Out is just a wonder to work for. So this Brandon Brenzer, director at Texas Steel Tech, I have 3 phone numbers for him, and you can set them to show or not show, and a Twitter account and 2 emails. One's at Gmail, one's at his company. I can literally drop an email in his personal account right now if I want to. So the first tool is called Contact Out, and it's about $15 a month. What I normally tell people to do is 2 or 3 times a year, turn it on, pay for the month, use it during the month to make big lists, and then just turn it back off so you can cut the costs. Now, the other cool tool I have here, we have 612 people in this list. If I don't want to go individually, I have a tool here called Sales QL. And we can have a new project. Let's do a list here and call it Tech ACMO Second Connections. Create a new project, and we'll hit Add Pages. And so we know with this search here, looks like there are a lot of pages here. We'll do start page 1, end page. Let's just do the first 20 pages and hit start. Now, this is just literally going to start, and a robot is running through their profiles to grab their personal email, personal phone number, address, job title, name, company they work at, and it's going to rip it all to an Excel spreadsheet for us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So John, I won't pause this. I'll let this run through and then just send this to you.
Thank you.
The downside to this is there are going to be a number of people who just don't have their information actually in there. Has my screen changed to my Google Drive?
Yes.
So let's go to, don't steal anything you see in my Google Drive. Just ask me for it and I'll give it to you. But I'm going to show you a list we made the other day because I wanted insurance agents in the Kansas City area for a CE course that Bordner ran recently. If I click on the correct one here, I believe that's nice, but that's not what I need. Let's see here. I believe it might be this one. So this is what this Sales QL exports. And if this is the right one, it'll pop up here in a moment. Come on. Here we go. Literally giving me full name, first name, last name, the headline of their title, current position, company name. A lot of that's boring. What gets interesting over here is I have email 1, which is their business one, email 2, which is personal emails. Sometimes people have a third or backup email, even on their LinkedIn profile. And then I have phone numbers here. Phone number 1 is their company number, but phone number 2 is their personal number. It's sometimes the number that they whipped up their LinkedIn account. So this might not be super awesome always on the cell phone numbers because LinkedIn was never popular with cell phone numbers. But this list is, I think, 600 people long. So I typed in insurance agent, Kansas City, second connections to my profile, and I got over 600 emails. And we were able to send a mass email out to invite people to our CE course. Bordner has never done a CE course, so I wanted to try to do some cold emailing. And I got 4 people from this list to show up to our CE course with just cold outreach to that list. So this is just running in the background with the Sales QL, and that's a really fun tool. It's already 1/6 of the way done, so it'll be done shortly. We have another tool here that I want to show you. When you start to get greasy inside of LinkedIn, I have this third tool called Duck Soup. this bad boy can do what Sales QL does, but it also has a really cool, like, let's say John wanted to friend request everybody on this list, not just rip their info. In this search that we've done, we leave that page open, click visit and connect. And for $14 a month, it will do the same thing that other tool is doing, except it'll visit their profile, it'll hit connect. And if it asks you to send an initial message, it gives you a space to create a custom personalized message to these people, and it will automatically connect you on LinkedIn to all 612 people. It takes about an hour for every 500, and it just runs in the background. So I would normally do something like this later in the evening when I'm done working on my computer and just let it sit open with the screen open, and it would literally connect me on LinkedIn to all 600 people and send a direct message and visit their profile. So they'll get a notification from LinkedIn that John visited their profile and sent a friend request and with a message on that friend request. So these three tools are how I used to have a company called, and you can laugh at this, but I used to have a company called the World's Best Agency, and we were focused on cryptocurrency and doing marketing for cryptocurrency coins that wanted to make it big. And we would just find their target client on LinkedIn and get direct message lists of thousands and thousands of people to fund these Bitcoin-based and crypto coin-based currencies. And our job was just marketing. We weren't investing in the coins at all. And so because Facebook ads got denied by the SEC for tech companies in the cryptocurrency space, we couldn't use Facebook or Instagram ads. We had to find a way around it. So for high rollers, we would grab their contact information with contact out. We would DM the link to our coins and get people into registrations to see our presentation. And we would use Sales QL to create whole cold email and phone number lists with these people. So I'm going to stop sharing real quick. Are there any questions about that? Was that useful?
Very useful.
We're recording this, so you guys will have the recording of this video to go over that. Anyone else have questions about what I just showed you?
So a quick, something I do like 20 minutes a day with LinkedIn. I like to connect with my 20 top referrals. So once you guys figure out those people who you really want to connect with and say they're playing hardball, or say you can't get in touch with them or you haven't even tried, make a list of them. I go into their profile, I go into their post, and then I bookmark it. And every morning I open all 20 bookmarks and I comment on their latest post. It's shocking how many people will reach out to me after a week or two of doing that. And it's all genuine, like no spam, don't be annoying. But they'll reach out to me because they really do appreciate when we interact with them on, especially LinkedIn, since it is a newer platform. It is so easy. It takes me maybe 25 minutes a day. I'm interacting with the top 20 people that are my ideal client, my ideal referrals. And it takes away the guesswork. It takes away the emotion. It's literally just something in my to-do list that I check off every morning. So coupled that, I'm going to use Kyle's stuff to find more ideal clients that way, because I love that you can search and then figure out who you really want to connect with and then show up on their profile for the next few weeks.
Sariah, you said you just go through and bookmark their profile?
So Kyle, can you show how?
Yeah, so here under follow is what you're referring to, right?
No, so if you go to, because I don't want them to see that I actually go into their profile every day. So I go to activity, click and see all activity down below.
Yeah, okay, yep.
And then I click posts. And then I bookmark that. And I have a folder of bookmarks that's called LinkedIn. And when I open my LinkedIn folder, I have 20 profiles, and it just automatically opens up only their posts. So they never know I go in there. It's not like I'm being really annoying to them. So they don't get like, Sariah looked at your profile again today. She's a weirdo. Don't work with her. Nope. They just think that I'm like, commenting because I see their stuff naturally.
So just like Chrome or whatever browser you're using, you're bookmarking it there. Okay, I'm tracking now.
So I do it a little differently. What I do is I cultivate through LinkedIn, and if I like and want to later go back to that person's article, I rip through and hit save for later. And then you can go to your saved folder and go to those 20 again without clicking on their profile, because you're clicking the article that you want to then follow later. So I like the bookmark idea as well, because it pulls you out of their profile. But yeah, under activity here, that's a very smart way to hit posts and then bookmark this recent activity shares page that's now up. I just go and pick the individual ones. I used to hyper target people though too. She's doing more of a generic referral list. So both ways work depending on what you want to do. That's brilliant. But yeah, posts, save them, rip them down into a list, or hitting the save for later. I was looking at business coaches just now too. Hello, LinkedIn. Please work. Having Zoom and trying to make the interwebs work is a little rough. But for Sariah, she said that business coaches are important to her. So she could literally pick business coaches, second connections. What's a city you want to find some business coaches in?
We can do Kansas City.
So the results will vary per person, but in my network, second connections, there's 273 business coaches that I have a mutual friend or shared connection to. Now you can broaden it by clicking the third, and that'll whip us up to 6,000. So you can pick your city, you can pick whether you want them to be second or third connections, and go from there. So Todd, if he was a high roller for me, boom, there's his emails, phone number, and Twitter. You can rip through to Duck Soup and send them an automated message in a list. But yeah, guys, for those of you who are bookkeepers, what's one of the ones that would be a valuable referral source for you? Shout it out here.
New construction.
CPAs.
CPA, is that what I heard? So you have 1.6 million results. You could drop it down to second connections, 32. Let's do Kansas City again just to narrow it. There's 167 people on LinkedIn that have CPA in their title in Kansas City. And so you could rip those down to an email list, connect with all of them, start sending them direct messages. The other cool thing about Duck Soup is after you've connected with them, if they respond to your connection, Duck Soup allows you to do a visit with a custom message, and then you are not just visiting their profile, but you can send a direct message campaign to all of the ones who have connected with you in the same manner you would do an email campaign, because you have a list of emails, and make it like a first email, second email, and even do like a 2 or 3 part sequence. The key to this is you have the automation in front of you. You then spend the time to get hyper creative with the why you want to connect to them initially, what you offer them, and then a third one would usually be asking them a specific question to get them responding back to you in the LinkedIn DMs. Again, it's not a billboard, it's automation. So you don't want to just shotgun spam people as much as figure out how to make the connection as personalized as possible with what the pain points CPAs are for those of you who are bookkeepers. This is a list of 167 people. So the way I would do it is ask all 167 of them, when can I bring coffee to you, or when can I DoorDash coffee to you? Would like to get to know you at some point. Even at 160, under 150 respond times a $7 coffee, that's $1,000, right? So I would take this list and do 10 or so a week and literally use LinkedIn to generate coffee appointments for yourself. and don't do them all at once. Segment them out. I don't have $1,000 to spend on coffee in the month of December, but you could take 167, divide that by 12 months, and do that many per month that you can afford. And whoever takes you up on the offer, put a link in there to book a time with you on a calendar and pick a coffee spot, and literally book your calendar full of coffee appointments to go pitch what you do and network with these people.
And yeah, and it's the networking, right? Because you're asking for their referrals. So even a $7 cup of coffee, dude, if you can get 10 referrals, like real clients from this person, $7 is nothing.
And I liked your idea with the cookie. I know there's a company here in Kansas City that does the logoed cookies.
Yeah.
Send them their own logoed cookies to their office.
That's
right.
what John needs to do for sure.
Right. So those are the 3 LinkedIn tools. I've got the URLs for those. You don't have to go scrambling for those. The next thing I want to show you is like, okay, so you have this list of names and emails, right? What do you do with it? One of the tools I like to make it easy for myself is HubSpot. But I was asked earlier about text messaging. What would you guys rather see first, an email automation or a text automation?
Like email.
Okay.
I think I'm interested in text. I've already been doing email for a long time. And now that everybody's working from home, email rates are kind of like inconsistent, email open rates.
Yeah, I just think people delete them all and start again.
Yeah.
Emails are tanky. And email CRMs are actually like, if your open rate is low, they're actually with putting you in the spam folder automatically, which really sucks.
So I'll actually address that spam factor with another tool most people don't know about. But voila, here is literally a text message based program. It's called Sales Message. This one is pretty affordable. I think we pay by the credit. Let's see. $25 gets me 1,000 message credits. So that's to send or receive. So if you send 500 texts to a list, that would be $12.50 to send 500 texts to a list of 500 contacts. And then if like 100 or 200 of them respond, that's now 200 responses against your credits here. But this is a la carte. You pay by the amount you need. Obviously, you get you don't get any discount here. You just buy in $100 for 4,000, 25 equals 100. But I call these guys and tell them how many I'm going to use every few months, and this is a small startup, and they're like, oh, well, you've been buying with us for a year now. Like, let's just cut you a deal and give you double. So I've built a relationship with them, and I've sent a bunch of people to them as well. But what's great about this is you can have multiple numbers. So we use one number for a certain type of outreach and then the other number actually for internal Bordner team outreach here. This one specifically I picked because it integrates with HubSpot, but it integrates with a few other CRMs. So if you've pre-built a list, it lets you broadcast to those lists. So we've got lists here, and like, let's see, on this single mom KC list, we have a broadcast. So we can just create a broadcast, name it test 1. It's not actually going to send to people, but my Woods Chapel golf tournament, I have 42 people on that list, and then send as, and I would pick the number that I'm sending as because I get to see all their responses as individual conversations. And then you can decide to send now or schedule it for later in the future, not later in the past. And then you're just literally doing the text message the way you'd want it here. You've got your emojis. You can create little mail merges. So if everyone has a first name that's in your list, you can do first name mail merge, and it'll literally say, hey, Kyle, hey, Sariah, hey, John, instead of howdy, partner. You can throw images in here. And I usually do a test. I used to have it. I don't think I have it anymore, but I used to have a list with just me and one other phone number on it, and always send a test broadcast. And then you get to see it, how it's going to actually pop up on the phone. And you would literally just hit send. Once you hit send, the conversations would be here, and you'd get to see what you sent and then you get to see their responses instantly the same way you would a text message on a phone, and you can send individualized responses back to those people. So we have tons of people that we're just in touch with, and they're trying to sell us on their freaking hemp oil. Some people say stop, or this person registered for a class and then hit stop. So he was one of the guys who actually came to our CE course. Some people just say no, and it's just like email, except it's text messages. My open rate on these is 90%.
So Kyle, this isn't actually on your phone, but you can see it through this website, correct? But it does go to their phone?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a web-based dashboard. This company has a mobile app, so I do have Sales Message as an app on my phone, and it's like the same way Facebook direct messages is a separate app on your phone if you want it to be. I have the Sales Message app on my phone, and I can do the responses right from my phone. I can't broadcast from the app, but I can respond to any of the incoming messages from my phone and see all of the responses live.
So is there an opt-in, like, what if you're using your existing email list, because I'm thinking my registrations, they provide a phone number. I don't have a guarantee if that is a landline or a cell phone.
Yep.
I don't, but do they have to have opted in to receive the texting, or can you just try it and it gives them the opt-out option the first time?
I picked this one because this company trusts you to already have an opt-in from these lists, and because I am sometimes sending cold versus warm, this will, as soon as they hit stop, or it sends that text at the end saying, once the first text goes out, like, please respond stop if you don't want to have any more messages, and then it just no longer shows up in your dashboard. And then also inside of the dashboard here, you can click opt out for them or delete that conversation if they've opted out already to clear your little inbox here. But I do recommend you've already gotten an opt-in request for them before you just sign them up to a list. Next year, we're going to start a text list for all of our customers and call it the Rob Bordner direct line, and just have them get like maybe once a month texts for our offers, and once a month as well about like home improvements, do-it-yourself stuff. So that'll be educational blogs in their text, and then the discounts as well, some of the specials.
So for our existing customers, since I didn't know that I would have like an option for something like this, they've agreed to get correspondence from us. Usually they've been via email, but if you sent out an initial one saying, hey, exciting news, create now offers, text offers, and then is there like where they could opt in through this app to continue to receiving them, or press stop if you don't want to receive them, basically is what you'd say?
Yeah, so the company has a few tutorial videos on how to upload your initial list and just send an initial welcome to Teresa's text line if you'd like to receive further texts from me about XYZ. Respond below.
Okay.
But this one is set up where it doesn't require that, and there's no spam filtering on this end the way there is with email. But for the people who don't know, I know at least on iPhones, and I think Androids have it as well, where they have the unknown message filter. Here, I'll hit stop share real quick. So in my iPhone, I have all messages, known senders, and unknown. And if someone's not in my contact list, they get to the unknown, and I get no pop-up notification that I've gotten a text from them.
Oh.
Don't judge me, but that is how many unread text messages I have. So smartphone providers are putting the filter that email marketers had already had inside of the spam. The ICANN Act is going to be in about 2 years set up, whereas programs like this will have to have double, if not triple opt-in. But the other way I get around that is in a Bordner contract. When you do work with Bordner, we have a line in there that says you are agreeing upon this contract to receive future marketing communication from Bordner. And it's generic enough, but it's binding that whether I text them, email them, redirect Facebook ads to them, or send mailers to them, they agreed to that by buying our home improvement services. So I have that built into all my client contracts. And then for prospects who pick up educational PDFs from us or request information on our website, our privacy policy on our website says we reserve the right to message you under different mediums, and we list out email, text, phone, etc. So having your privacy policy and your disclaimer and the notification when people fill out your forms to receive different opt-ins, just having that clear that you are agreeing to be marketed to, or having that new check mark that you're agreeing to promotional materials. There's just ways to incentivize that too, right? We all know that when you go to Sephora.com to get on their email list equals 10% off your next purchase. Why do I know that? Don't ask me, but you get 10% off your next purchase on Sephora.com by opting into their email list.
So from a business standpoint, would it feel, I guess, icky for me to just send out a mass and offer to open that opportunity to my existing email list, like and an opinion based, like
How many people are in your contacts that you would be
5
able to do this to?
I have 5,000.
So what I would do is send them all an email and say, hey, to make it easier on you, I'm going to start doing text message communication so I don't clog your emails. I will offer you X. If you opt into my text line, click here to opt in. And then from those that opt in, that becomes your safe list.
Got it.
When we were marketing to marketers, it was super easy. It was like, here's your 25 things that you still don't know about marketing on the internet PDF that I'm going to give you. Just opt into my text line so I can send you unlimited texts. And then marketers never sleep, so we just always send the text at midnight, and then they'd be too tired to be cranky to unsubscribe. So you just have an opt-in, or you have an incentive if you don't have opt-in people, or just make generic marketing opt-in messages for people who go to contact you. Even your contact form on your website, have a line in there. If you contact me, you're agreeing to future promotional material as well. And that's not being sneaky or sticky or salesy. That's the way the internet works right now.
Right. And I
Christine.
think, yeah.
Any other questions?
I had a question to Sariah right quick. She was mentioning that even the CRM emails that are sending out are getting pushed to the bottom basically, or gets pushed to spam. But she said something, you said something about what was that
I want to
criteria
hear the
that
song.
was met
What's
with
that song going on in the
Oh,
background?
you like that? There you go.
God bless you. So I don't know if you guys know about this software called Mixmatch. Sariah, if you know about this and want to take over, that's fine. But Mixmax connects to a Gmail account and sends bulk emails through whatever your G Suite email is without having to go through a CRM email server. So I have been able to double my open rates by using this tool called Mixmax. And you can throw proposal times right in there. A lot of recruiters use this now because it's a high, you know how in Google Mail you have promotions and social and primary? This bad boy will get you into people's primary if your current email is set up as a Gmail or G Suite email. And you can set this up and it just connects to your Gmail, and you're in your Gmail inbox writing emails, and you can pick a list and it'll then send the emails to these people as templates. And this gets you past a lot of those spammed up, like raise of hands here. Does anyone here use MailChimp? MailChimp is the number one spammed out set of mail servers on the internet. Don't use them. Does anyone here use, or what does everyone here use? Just throw it out there.
Constant Contact.
Second worst email sending server in the planet.
Active Campaign.
Active Campaign is good because they actually do double verification on their server, and they clean your list before you get to send it to your list. HubSpot that I use also has a very similar feature. So it will clean your list before people can just bounce out your emails.
I use Less Annoying. It's called
Less Annoying. Yep, they're great. They also have an SMTP2, which is what filters out the emails. Flowdesk, I don't know about. I've seen them in.
They're a newer one, but I kind of like them.
So here's the quick hack to deciding which one to use. If any of them have a free version, their spam filtration is not so good. So even HubSpot has a free version, but they only let you send so many emails in their free version. Flowdesk here has a free version, so their spam filtration is not going to be that great. One of the best ones on the planet was out of Pennsylvania when I used to live there. Aweber. Aweber has no free program, and they even like make you wait a week before you can send emails while they verify you and your website and your server. So your open rate and opt-in becomes very high. It's a little pricey, but if you want your email to be delivered clean with a great builder behind it, I used to actually do a lot of seminars at the Aweber campus. They're a great group of people whose mission is fast, but very effective, very clean email. With Bordner, we're using a mix of Mixmax for previous customers who've been already emailing us back and forth after we've had contracts with them, and then HubSpot for prospects that we want to get into that customer list. Those emails, sending emails is so vital, but text messaging opened up about 2 years ago. It's going to get closed down within about 5 years. You'll have about a 5-year window before text messaging is broken. Let me show you guys a really cool text messaging thing that we also use at Bordner. If we have time for it, if there's other questions, just jump in and I'll pivot. We use this one called Podium. So I use Podium as well as Sales Message. Podium is the widget on our website. So when people are on our website, I do not know why my email is being this Wi-Fi here has been a little bit rough. So on most of your guys' websites, I think I saw the standard request information form, right? If it'll load for me, I have this little Podium guy who pops up and it says, hello. It's not being fun with me right now. But instead of a chat-based widget, Podium asks for their first name, their phone number, and their first message that they want to send to Bordner. And here it looks like a web-based chat, but it tells them our team will be texting you back from the number above. And they just got a text on their cell phone of the number they put in there. And then my team gets a dashboard on the web here. So that my team saw that at 5:21, Kyle texted them, and this was the auto response. And then my team can live send messages back, and we have pre-built templates. What's great about this one is Podium is not just a text thing the way Sales Message is. It's a text widget for your website, but it also will capture all of the direct messages from your company's Facebook page. It can pull messages in from Home Advisor and a few others, but their highlight is that they have this review template that can get sent out, and the people get generated a link to go review your company. So we use this in our Bordner process. You can add up to 4 or 5, so people can pick Angie's List, Better Business Bureau, Facebook, or Google. If they say no, they can text us their negative feedback. But what's sweet about this is if they click to Google, it instantly goes, and I just happen to be logged into a generic Gmail for Bordner. It checks your phone or your laptop or your iPad for your already logged in Google account, and you're just instantly writing a review about the company, not having to waste time to log into your account. And then Podium tracks those conversations that are lead based, and you can put templates in there for like scheduling or for payments even, and receive payments right over text, receive appointments right over text, and get review feedback right over text. And then manage your Google reviews and Facebook reviews with responses. So every day I got to go in here and respond to our Facebook, Google, Angie's List, BBB, and respond to them after they've jumped in on here. I'm behind because I went on vacation. But this tool is really sweet. And then our sales team has it on all their phones. to get reviews from customers after the job is done, and my team and I send a request for a review out. Gives you metrics of how fast you're responding and all that. But this tool really, we had 7,000 text message conversations last year, and a remodel company has no business texting people, but people don't answer the phone, so we had to start texting. Questions? We're going over time here.
Am I the only one that's maybe a little overwhelmed right now? It's a lot of really great information, and I'm really excited that this is being recorded because I'm going to watch it again and again and maybe one more time.
Yeah, guys, I'm used to giving talks to lots of groups in New York City and in Los Angeles, so I do talk fast when I'm presenting. I try to give you guys as much value both in the tools and the philosophy, but I want it to be slightly overwhelming because I want you guys to have the tools you just don't know about. And I've spent the last 10 years looking up these tools and finding the ones that are worth our time to talk about.
Yeah, this is wonderful information. It's just an area that I've never really worked in, and so it's fantastic to hear you share your experience. So thank you.
Where will this recorded thing be? Sorry, I can't concentrate. Where will this be at if we wanted to listen to it again? Thanks.
I'll just get it right into Sriracha's hands or John's hands, and we can post it either in the event or the Kansas City business creator groups.
Mainly because we want to hear Angela's kids singing again. Like, that's what I'm going to be.
Yeah, their voices are now eternal on the internet.
So fun. I will say, even though it's overwhelming, guys, focus on, like making a plan and then just tackling one thing at a time and perfecting it. That's how you're really going to, blow up your business, is instead of trying to do 10 things, pick one that, Kyle has covered, do it well. And then from there, so don't let it overwhelm you, because sometimes when you get overwhelmed, you stall and you don't go into action because you don't know what to do first. So just do something. And if you need help, reach out to us and we'll help. She'll mainly help.
Yeah, guys, when I used to do the growth hacking and referrals talk in New York City, I used to ask people, do you want the most expensive or the cheapest way to get referrals? And overwhelmingly, people would be like, well, I want the cheapest way. And I would say, well, pull out your cell phone, go to the contacts tab. How many contacts do you have in your phone? And then realize that you can sit on your butt or pay somebody minimum wage to go through your entire phone's contact list and send a text message to all those people, reminding them of what you do now and that you have a referral program, and name that referral program, and then text them back to tell them to text you back if they know anyone who could benefit from your services and if you could benefit from a little referral spiff, especially with the holiday season coming around and people needing that extra holiday consumer fueled money in their pocket to appease their guilt of needing to have presents under a Yuletide Christmas tree. They usually become referral addicts for you. And then from there, after you've texted your whole list once, the people who respond end up becoming ambassadors for what you do, So even if you can just afford a referral spiff and do none of what we just talked about, text every single person in your phone before the start of the new year. Remind them what you do with your website and what your referral program is, and just see how much business you get out of it.
What might that referral program look like?
So I'll just tell you what Bordner's is. If you refer anybody to Bordner and we end up working with them because they choose us for one of their projects for roofing, siding, windows, or baths, we pay you $100 as a thank you for referring somebody to us that actually did the work. So we don't ever pay out just for leads as a referral program. We pay out for jobs. And I keep a spreadsheet, and I've paid out thousands of dollars this year to people who their neighbor got the work done. And I was like, yeah, you haven't finished paying your invoice. Can you send me 5 people and hopefully 2 or 3 of them? And then that'll be $300 I can send you that you can then pay me to, finish the payments on the job we did for you. And people go crazy and they host parties in their neighborhood and they tell me to be there and to pay for all the alcohol. Somehow I do that. And then all of a sudden I have 4 extra leads for our sales guys because people love $100 spiff if people choose to work with us. For you, it's basically it's a rule of math. So like whatever your profit margin is and whatever percent of your profit margin you would have normally paid in marketing, that percentage is what your referral spiff is.
And I've seen, John, that some people, if they're already clients of yours, like what my old promotional company did, is anyone who would refer to us, they would then get a discount on their next order. They loved, right? And so it didn't cut into our like sending them money, because I know in promotional products the margins are low, but it kept them ordering again. And usually they'd be like, oh, then let's order X, Y, and Z more, right? And you and I both know we can then still up the margins a little bit to cover whatever in promotional. So in mine, I give them, if I get a client for 3 months, a paid client, on the 3rd month, they get 10% of their monthly cost.
And one of my best friends is a bookkeeper, and she would say, hey, if you refer me a client that does bookkeeping with me for at least 3 months in one of my packages, you get a month of your bookkeeping for free. And then she had clients who would go crazy. Can I get 12 months of free bookkeeping and send Carissa 12 new clients? And of course, Carissa would then just have one unpaid client for 12 paid clients. And it's like a no-brainer, right? And yeah, just discount your services or give away parts of it. I hope that answers your question, John, but it does come down to your margin and your profit margin, not just your sales.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We're now an hour and a half in. Many of you were late. You missed my music.
He's talking to me. Get over it. No.
I'm talking to almost everybody.
I think this was good. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely go into the event or whatever and ask. And if you need any more questions, help picking out your main referral sources,